Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy pod presented by yours truly, Jeremy. You can follow myself on X, formerly known as Twitter at R2R30111. You can follow your other host here at Scotty Drown. And as you can see by the title today, we will be diving into the Eastern Conference, giving our predictions on certain things, who's going to make the All Star team, and going to give our predictions for like what teams will end up in the standings and a lot of more interesting things as we dive deep into the show. So make sure you guys come in and if you're watching on X, come in on over to YouTube so we can read your comments and whatnot.
Sir.
And as well as if you're new to this, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you won't miss any more of these great content moving forward. The NBA is right around the corner. It's literally well, it technically has started for the players, but the real season start next week. Opening night comes upon us on Tuesday. So
Yes,
yeah, but
sir.
nonetheless, man, back with my guy Scotty. Excited to do this again. Should be a very fun and entertaining season. But nonetheless, Scotty, how you doing today on this good Wednesday afternoon
I'm doing good, man.
or
I'm doing
evening
good.
rather evening? Yeah, evening.
Yeah. We usually are in
Yeah,
the afternoon.
yeah, evening rather. Yeah.
This is a little bit of a different time segment for us, but I mean, as we get into the NBA season, NBA is always going to be in the evening, anyways. So we'll probably be talking around this time more normally, going forward, regardless. But I'm happy to be here, man. The NBA, it's obviously picking up. You know, we're just under a week until the actual NBA season starts. So
Yeah.
it means it's time to get into more serious dialogue about what we think is going to actually happen this year. But I'm excited, man. I'm excited to actually get some like game content to actually go off of here soon. That we'll be able to highlight, review, and talk about it in that fashion. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's always fun to talk about predictions, all-star teams, make some set some expectations for some guys this year that, maybe some other people aren't thinking about. But I think this show will be fun. We got the Western Conference either later this week or early next week before the season starts, just to wrap up our predictions. So that should be fun as well. I think we picked the easier conference to go with first with the Eastern Conference, but
Yeah, I can
I don't
agree.
know.
I
I
can
don't know.
agree.
Like the Eastern Conference feels top heavy, but we'll talk about that. Just in my opinion, it feels top heavy.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that throughout the show, I'm sure. But the West definitely has a
It's loaded.
larger variety of
Yeah, it's
contenders
loaded.
out there, man. But how you doing this evening? This is a little different for us. I got my Sixers kicking off here soon. I'm gonna have that set up here on the side just in case we go
Yeah.
into game time. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. But how you feeling, man? The 5-0 Warriors,
Hey,
preseason Kings. I
hey,
mean, come
man.
on, crown
I'm
the
feeling
champs
good, man.
already.
I'm feeling good. I was just gonna bring it up. Like, hey, I can't complain. My team was doing damn good in the preseason, man. 5-0, and yeah, man, we've been looking good. I love what I've been seeing. Guys been
Building
shooting the hell out the
chemistry.
ball. Yeah, the chemistry. It's giving. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but it's giving 2015 vibes. I'm serious when I say this. It really is. Strength in numbers. We got a lot of
Yeah.
guys that can play, and it's going to be hard to play all those guys at once. But we definitely got a ton of depth for sure. So yeah, but I'm love what I've been seeing from those guys for sure, man.
No, I definitely have seen bits here and there. Buddy Hield stat lines, different things like that. And it definitely is looking good. And then, of course, I checked the standings today. Saw you guys are 5-0. I won't lie to you too much here. I haven't watched a ton of preseason basketball.
Yeah,
I just
I
haven't
feel that.
really had the time of late, with NFL and everything. But as the regular season comes to, we're going to make more time for it. I know that's right. My late nights are about to come back into effect. I'm about to be up late again watching games at 10:30 on the West Coast. So
Yeah.
I'm preparing myself for that. They are long nights, but they're fun nights. I love hoops. I mean, I know you do too. So
Yeah,
I'm
for
not going
sure,
to sit
man.
here and complain about that. But
Same here.
man, I have had a chance to watch some Sixers preseason, but that's about it. But
For PG,
let's get
man.
into the Eastern Conference, man. Let's talk about some of these teams. Do you want to start with seeding, or do you want to talk about maybe? I don't know if you have like a surprise team or a team that other people may be sleeping on this season. Where do you want to start with this?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Let's do surprise. Yeah, I feel like surprise would be. Yeah, let's do that, man. Yeah,
I'm
let's do.
interested. I'm interested. I'm throwing it to you first. Who do you got? Who's your surprise or sleeper team?
the Charlotte Hornets is my sleeper team. They got a lot of nice young pieces over there.
I
You know,
like it.
Lamelo. Hopefully he can be healthy. Shout out to Lonzo. Today would be his first game in 2 years, so yeah, that should be fun
That's
as well.
pretty dope. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is. Yeah, that's a special moment for sure. But yeah, man, I like what the Hornets got. I'm sure Brandon Miller want to take another leap. I like the rookie that they drafted. I don't know how to necessarily say his name, but I'm pretty sure you know who I'm talking about. And as well as they brought back Miles Bridges, they got Grant Williams, still got Seth Curry. So they got some nice pieces over there. I won't be surprised if they make the playoffs. I think they are definitely a play-in team for sure. And like as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they were to win and make the playoffs. So yeah, that's to me definitely a sleeper team in the Eastern Conference for sure. I can't necessarily think of another team that anybody just sleeping on.
Are you talking about is it Salon? Is
Yeah,
that the one you're
Salon.
talking
Yep,
about?
Salon. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Just
I
making
think
sure
I
we're
think
on.
he was a lottery pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's only 19 years old, six
Yeah.
nine forward. Um they're an interesting team, man. They are. LaMelo Ball, right? Like we don't really know what LaMelo Ball is. And I mean that in a good way. Like I don't mean that in a bad way.
Yeah.
We know that he's a good basketball player, but we don't know how good he is. And like what's his ceiling? Like, is he an all-star this year? If they're playing for the playoffs this year, I imagine LaMelo Ball might be an all-star. I mean, there's a lot of point guards in the East as well, so it's hard to say
Yeah.
that, but there's a chance. I mean, if he's leading the way there. Now, let me ask you that. Is that what you're predicting? Like, are you thinking like big year for LaMelo Ball? Are you thinking like Miles Bridges big year? Are you thinking Brandon Miller breakouts type of season, or maybe all of the above is what you're feeling to get them to that point?
Mm.
I also wanted to throw in there they did add Josh Green as well from the
Yeah,
Mavericks, which
Josh
is
Green, yeah, yeah, they did. Yeah.
solid.
Yeah. To be honest, man, I'm going to go with Brandon Miller. He had a strong rookie campaign last season, so I think he definitely going to take another leap going into this season for sure. They're going to run the offense more through him, but
Yeah,
you can also make the case for guys that you just named, Miles Bridges. He got paid this offseason. And we all know the chatter around him saying he don't belong in the NBA and
yeah,
different
yeah,
things like that. So I'm sure he's going to be motivated to go out there and prove a
yeah.
lot of talking heads wrong. And as far as the Melo go, I mean, he's the franchise player. It's crazy. It took him about 4 or 5 years to finally realize that it's time for him to start wearing what is it, ankle tape or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that is crazy, dude. Like, come
yeah,
on,
something along the lines of that,
ankle
like,
brace.
cause that was really keeping him from playing. Like he kept fucking his ankles up. So
Yeah,
once he realized that, and now I'm sure he's going to have a pretty good, solid, healthy season as well. So yeah, you can really say all of the above, but nonetheless, that they should definitely be a fun team. I also like Mark Williams as well.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
a high flyer, live threat, can protect the rim. Nick Richards, they got a lot of nice young pieces over there, man, for sure.
Tough guys. Yeah, they got some experience mixed in there. Guys like Taj Gibson, I see on the roster this year. 39 years old. Seth Curry, you mentioned him earlier. So they
Yeah, they
got
got
some
some vets.
vets.
Yeah, they got some vets.
Yeah. Grant Williams is
Who's the
technically a vet now.
who's the head coach over there? Actually, is it Steve Clifford or I
That's the
want to say?
name that came to mind. Charles Lee, actually, is what I'm seeing here. Coach Charles Lee.
Oh, that's the guy that came from Boston. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I thought they let Clifford go. I thought they let him go.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, that's what it's saying here on ESPN.
They got Trey Mann as well. So yeah, they got a nice team over there, man.
Got my guy Harry Giles. I don't know what he has left in the tank. He's only 26. He's dealt with a lot of injuries, but another guy that came out of college with a lot of pedigree.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's room for them, man, and
Yeah, it
that's
really
actually
is.
one
Yeah.
of my questions, like about this conference. I'll throw you my. I don't even know if it's a surprise or a sleeper team compared to Charlotte, honestly. But I did go with the Toronto Raptors. And what I mean by surprise sleeper team, I do think they're going to make the playoffs this year. Now, before I get into like why that is, I did want to say like that was one of my questions coming into this. Like out of Detroit, Charlotte, Washington, Toronto, Chicago, Brooklyn, Atlanta, who out of those teams are going to step up and claim those other two spots in the postseason, which play in tournament still technically the postseason, right?
Yeah.
Um, I am curious, but my pick was Toronto. I did give Charlotte some thought for the 10th seed
Yeah. I
as
mean,
well, but I ultimately went with Chicago. Um, Toronto, the big thing for me, it's a huge year for Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett. These guys are in like this weird spot in their careers where they can become something more than just like a good, solid, good player in the NBA, or can they become something great?
yeah.
I think Emmanuel Quickly may be what he is, which is just a high impact. He can score the rock at a high clip, shoot the three ball, can get really hot. RJ Barrett, obviously, I'm biased. I got the Duke cap on. I got my Duke cap on for this analyzation, right? This analysis. Um, RJ Barrett, it feels like he could step into another level if he's able to put his mind to it, if he's been working on what he needs to work on this offseason. He's always been
Mhm.
a guy that I thought could succeed in the NBA because he can drive in the lane. He does have the awkward, like left-handed shot, dribble package, which just makes him an awkward player to guard. He is fairly athletic for even the NBA level. So I'm interested to see, like, can RJ Barrett elevate to a, I don't want to say all-star level. I don't want to like put that I don't even know that that's realistic. But maybe just something underneath of all-star, right? Like a 22, 23 point per game score, good shooting, getting teammates involved,
Yeah.
locked in on the defensive side of the ball, along with RJ Barrett and Manuel Quickly. The big name, obviously, is Scotty Barnes. And where is he going to elevate to? What does he look like this year? Um, is
Just
he a
got
top?
paid.
Man, just got paid. Just made the All Star team last year. I think he was a replacement technically, but
Yeah, he
still
was.
made his
Yeah.
first All Star team. All Star team. What does he look like this year? Is he shooting the ball better from three? Is his handle a little bit better, outside of the paint? These are things I'm going to be looking at with Scotty Barnes because he is a guy whose ceiling isn't really distinguished right now as far as like how good or great he can be, in my opinion. So that's really what feeds into the idea. Those three guys for me. They do have guys like Bruce Brown that are still on that team.
Hmm.
Kelly Olynyk, Jakob Podol. Just looking down the list here. They did add Jamal Shed out of college. He was like a senior this year, like coming out of was it Houston? I was about to say Texas Tech. It was Houston. I remember playing him in the I believe it was the Elite Eight that Duke played him, something like that. I think Duke eliminated Houston, but he's a baller too. He's an older rookie, so he comes in with a little bit more experience from college. Think he can contribute right away. They picked up Davion Mitchell from the Sacramento Kings. You got
Oh, yeah,
Grady
that's
Dick.
a
I
nice
didn't
fit.
even mention Grady Dick, if he can come out and look even better than what he did last year. So I
Hmm.
like what they're doing up there in Toronto. I think their team is pretty solid. I don't think they're going to contend for a championship by any means or Eastern Conference Finals, but
Yeah.
I think they could sneak as high as like a 7 seed this year. Quite honestly,
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. You hit on the head with all those points, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. You said like with quickly, I felt you on that. Like, I'm sure, like out of all of those things you mentioned, he can be in an elite category with some of the best point guards in this league, whether it be top 5 assists, even top 10, or
yeah,
3-point
yeah, that's a
shooting,
good point.
things like that. Yeah,
That's a good point.
yeah, things like that. And then also like me and you had this conversation a lot of times about RJ. I think it was like, if not this upcoming season, when? Because
Yeah,
keep in mind this guy was drafted with the number 3rd overall pick, and he is a shooting guard. But when will he enter that conversation with the
yeah,
likes of Jalen Brown, Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, will
yeah.
he enter the conversation of
Is
guys
it
like that?
possible?
Yeah, it really is because I don't think it's a ton of expectation down there in Toronto. So you know besides Scotty, I'm sure that he's definitely the number 2 option on that team. So he definitely can go out there and get his, and
Yeah,
show that he's definitely a top shooting guard in his league for sure.
yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Let's check some of these comments, man. I didn't even think to do that earlier here. We got Hunter checking in. NBA is back.
Yes, sir, Hunter.
It is crazy how fast time flies. He says the Celtics are repeating. Hey,
I
it's
ain't
not out
mad
of
at
the
it.
cards.
I ain't mad at it.
I'm mad at it. Don't get me twisted. I'm mad at it. I don't want it, but
Yeah.
it definitely is possible. Darius says we back. We got Phil
Yeah.
checking in. Paul George's knee. Yeah. Yeah. That not a great start to the season for the Sixers right there. Uh is it Dane? Dane
Let's
Haywood?
go Heat. Okay.
Yeah, checking in.
Checking in, representing.
Jimmy Butler's a favorite player. We got Darius saying he thinks the sleeper team is the Bucks,
Hey,
which
that's a good point. That's a good.
I
That's a
do
good.
get that. I
Yeah, I
get
do. I
that.
really do. Yeah, because you talk about elite teams. Nobody's bringing up the Bucks in the Eastern Conference. It's Philly, Celtics, obviously in New York. Those are the three teams. Some people actually even had the Cavaliers, and to some degree, even the Pacers over the Bucks. So I can definitely understand, Darius' point on that.
Yeah, yeah. I think to your point, even like with the top three, it feels like it's Boston, Philly, New York, or Boston, New York, Philly, whatever order you have it in there. It seems like those are the three teams that are mentioned first, and then the
Mhm.
Bucks, maybe come in as a side comment, something like
Yeah,
that. To that point, I mean, even the Heat this year, man, the Heat
yeah,
kind of being slept on in a
yeah.
sense in these two.
Nobody's really talking about them. Yeah,
I don't
no,
look at them as a sleeper team because I'm never sleeping on the
nah,
Miami
you
Heat.
can't sleep
Like
on man.
it's more or less I just don't talk about them because they're going to be good. You know what I mean? Like they're going to
Yeah, I
be
feel
good.
that.
They're going
Yeah.
to compete. Like
Yeah, like Miami, like that team is built for the playoffs. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
you know what they bring on both sides of the floor. So
Exactly. Can Jimmy stay healthy this year? That's going to be the big thing for them as far as seeding. Can he stay healthy just to help them get wins in the regular season? Bam
yeah,
Adebayo obviously is still ascending, so we'll see what the Heat got this year for sure. Always Martian, appreciate you checking in, brother. Always repping the Duke. We're getting into basketball season. You're going to see this hat a lot more often, for sure. Dane Haywood said Heat are a very amazing championship team with Khalil Ware and is it Pele Larson?
yeah, I
Pele
think that's how you
Larson.
say it. Yeah. I like the rookie they got, Khalil Ware. He's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, no, he's versatile. Fits
Yeah, he
their
really is.
fits
Yeah, he
that
puts that
Miami
place
Heat
around.
mold.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, I like what I've been saying for the number overall pick. Is it Zachary Rochette?
Yeah. Yeah, is that for Atlanta?
Yeah, I like what I've been seeing for him. He's only played in two preseason games, but I like what I've been seeing from him. So
Yeah, I did get to peep a little bit of him the other night when the Hawks were playing the Sixers. He's a good floor spacer, has a good size.
yeah.
Just that prototypical, wing player that you look for these days, like just
Hmm.
floor spacing, smooth game. I think he could fit really well next to Trey Young. I think they
Yeah, I
could they
agree.
could they could play very well next to each other.
Yeah, they had him
Um,
coming off the bench. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before he into that starting lineup for
how
sure.
do you feel about the Hawks this year? Like, where are
Yeah, I
they
want
at
to talk about them.
in
Yeah.
these rankings for you? Because I gave them some thought as like a sleeper team as well, but
Uh-huh.
I ended up backing out of it. But I don't know. I'm kind of in between on the Hawks this year. I feel like
I feel like that'd be a pretty fun team. I don't know if necessarily like a contending team, but that'd be pretty fun. I mean, you got Trey
think
Young,
they're a
one of
playoff team.
one of the better passers in the league. I'll say they can make the play in. I'm not going to guarantee that
Yeah,
they're
I
a
would agree with that.
playoff team, but I can see them make the play in for sure. I'm sure Zachary he's going to have a good year. Um, from what I see from Clint Capella, he has regressed a ton. Like when we think of Clint Capella, we think of like this lob threat, catching every
Yeah,
dunk. But from some of the games that I've been watching with him, it just doesn't seem to be that way anymore. So yeah, as well as DeAndre Hunter, I thought I would have. I think this is like year 5 for him, year 6, something
yeah,
like that. I
yeah.
thought I would have seen a little bit more from him, considering the fact that he is a lottery pick, but I just haven't seen a ton that I thought I would. But
Seemed like they were trying to trade him all last season.
yeah, we was a team that was actually interested in getting him. But I mean, they still got Bojanovic, one of the best shooters in the league.
Yeah.
Is it a Kongwu? I like
Yeah, I
his.
was actually just about to bring him up, Okongwu,
Yeah, I
which
like his game too. So.
maybe he
Oh,
takes
and
a bunch
also
of
they
those
got
Capella minutes.
Dyson Daniels. Yeah,
From New Orleans, yeah, I
yeah, from
just
New
saw
Orleans.
him on the
Yeah,
roster.
yeah,
I wasn't
Dyson.
hip that they got him, but they got him, Larry Nance Jr.
Very nice. Oh, they still got
Um,
Jalen Johnson, your boy, Jalen Johnson.
yeah, he's the
Yeah.
guy I was going to bring up because he's that guy that can elevate, right? Like I
Oh,
think
yeah, for sure.
he got up to what 20 points per game last? Nah, 16.
16. Oh, he
Was
could
it
definitely
16?
average 20 this season for sure, though. If not
Why
20,
did I
close to
have
20.
him at a higher? He must have been cooking at a certain point in the season last year. Um,
Yeah.
because I thought I could remember him at least having like 18 a game, but he was at 16 last year. I think he can get to that 20 mark. I got to watch him play the other night too, man, and his game is very well rounded. They got a ton of just like lengthy
Yeah, they got a
guards and
lot of
forwards.
wings. They got a lot of
Yeah,
wings.
yeah.
A lot of wings for sure.
Looking like Bogdanovich 6'6", Dominic Barlow, I think he's a rookie, 6'10", uh, Dyson Daniels 6'7", DeAndre Hunter 6'7", Jalen Johnson 6'9".
The rookie, I think he like what 6'8", 6'9"? Or is he
Yeah,
six
he's
ten?
6'9". Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
6'9",
6'9".
6'10". So you got a lot of tall guys around Trey Young. So
Around Trey Young, that's kind of what they needed to put around him too. So maybe they're on the right track. I don't know how close they are to anything significant, but definitely a team that could make the play in ultimately. So let's get to the play in. Let's start from there and then just work our way up from here. And maybe we can touch on some of these teams anyways, depending on who you have in there. But I'll throw this one to you. I'll throw you my number 10. I have the Chicago Bulls making the play in at the number 10 seed here. Now, is Zach LaVine going to stay healthy? Is Lonzo Ball going to stay healthy, right? These are two huge
yeah,
question marks for this team. You lost DeMar DeRozan over the offseason to Sacramento. So that's a 25-ish point per game score that you subtract from this team. But I think that can be filled by guys like Kobe White, who stepped up at the end of last season. You brought in guys like Alex Caruso. Oh, excuse me. No, excuse me. He went to Oklahoma City. Excuse that. I was talking about Josh Giddey for Alex Caruso. My apologies there. Josh Giddey, you added him from OKC in that Alex Caruso trade. You got Ayo DeSumo that can add in there as well. Dalen Terry, I'm interested to see what he looks like this year. Second year guy. Can he step up? Can he elevate his game and start to contribute here? But Kobe White and Patrick Williams are the two guys that I feel can make the difference enough in this team to at least elevate them over the rest of the field. So I'm giving them the 10 seed. I don't think it's like this high honor, right?
yeah.
But it is the play, and it is an opportunity to make the postseason, which I think Chicago would be happy to have this year. How do you feel about the Bulls, and then who is your number 10?
To be honest, man, I can see where you're coming from for sure. Obviously lose DeMar, that's a huge loss. 24 points per game gone. But like you mentioned, I'm sure Kobe White, he's gonna, step his game up offensively, as well as Patrick Williams,
Yeah,
Uh, he was drafted in the lottery, so I'm sure this would probably be the season for him to have that
make or
breakout
break,
year.
make or
Yeah, to
break.
have that
Yeah,
breakout year because I mean the expectation for that team, I don't think it was necessarily too high, even when they had Zach LaVine, DeMar Caruso, Lonzo, all those guys. But now that things are kind of trending like in the rebuild mode, I'm
yeah,
sure that he can take advantage of that as well as the rookie they got.
have some more freedom.
Yeah, the rookie they drafted Matisse, I think that's how you say it or something like that. But I like his game. I'm sure he'll fit in nice. Lonzo's back. Josh Giddey on the squad now. You still got Nikola Vucevic. So yeah, I can see your case for them making it like they're a pretty nice team, I say. So yeah, I ain't mad at that at all.
It's hard once you get down into that 10 range because you're looking at about five teams that you just don't know. Like the Hornets could come up into the 10th spot, right? Like with
Yeah.
some of what you talked about earlier yourself. So it's hard. I mean, I won't even lie to you, bro. I gave Detroit some thought. Like I did think about it.
Yeah.
I thought about it. I didn't think about it too hard, but I did think
Oh, I
about it.
know.
Like,
I know why you was thinking about it. I know why.
no, no,
I know
no.
why.
That's why I stopped thinking about it.
I
That's
know
why I
why.
didn't think too hard. Because I started thinking like Cade Cunningham,
Yeah.
why's one dude's name slipping my head?
You know his name very
The
well.
point
He played
guard.
for
No, the
you.
point guard. The point guard. The young point guard.
Ivy.
Ivy. That's who I'm talking about. That's who I'm talking about. No, you're talking about that man's name who we do not use
Oh,
his name
but
on
well,
here.
since we're speaking of the Detroit Pistons, that's my team. I got in the 10th seed. I have them making a play-in tournament. I love the addition they made, man. With I mean they added exactly what they need. They needed more veterans on the team. They added a guy
Playoff
like yeah,
experience.
guys like Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr. Malik Beasley. And those are the type of guys they
Yeah,
need. I mean, they already have the young talent. Oh, as well as they add your boy Paul Reed. You know, you
B-ball
got
Paul.
yeah, B-ball Paul. You got Cade, Jaden, Jalen Duran. Who else they got? Thompson twin.
Yeah,
Um,
Asar.
they drafted Ron Holland, Isaiah Stewart. So they got some nice young pieces over there. So
They
they
got some
added
nice young hoopers. Yeah.
they added the vets. So I'm sure they can make it work. So
Cade
yeah,
Cunningham. Can he
yeah,
be an all-star this year? Like, is it
mm,
possible?
it's definitely possible for sure.
There's so
It's
many
definitely
guards
possible.
in the East, man. It's
And
tough.
who is the Pistons' new head coach?
JB Bickerstaff.
Oh yeah, JB Bickerstaff. So
I was not hip that he went. So he left Cleveland and went
no, they
to.
fired him.
They fired him, and he went
Yeah,
to
Detroit
Detroit.
after the Pistons fired Monty Williams.
Monty Williams, who they gave a ton of money to, right?
Yeah, I think he was he was the highest paid coach in
That's
history.
how they got him to. Or I'm not even. It's not even worth it. He's not their coach anymore. Um, I do like the pick, man. I did give them some thought, but it's once I thought about Tobias Harris, I was like, hell no.
I mean, I'd say this, man.
But
Tobias,
it's not a fair point.
he
They
got
got some hoopers on there. Jalen
yeah,
Duran.
he got his bag though, man. Tobias, he got his bag, and maybe maybe he can do something with this young Detroit team. We'll see.
Yeah, I like the pick. I like the pick. Um, Number 9, I went with Toronto, so I don't need to get into that too much further. I mean, if anybody wants to see that spiel, we went over that a little bit ago. But I do like Scotty Barnes and company to kind of lead them into a chance to get into the postseason. I like the talent that they got there. Who do you
Yeah,
got at number 9?
and that's it. Same here. I got the Charlotte Hornets. I
Okay.
already broke it down. So yeah.
I got you. Marsh, I had to pull this one up.
He said, "I'm gonna bust my head." This guy here, bro. This man. Hey, man. I'm gonna be ready.
Oh, man.
I'm going to
I
be
can
ready.
see you in a Dickie suit, though. I could, man. I
I'm going
could.
to be ready, man. They not like us.
I do got a pair of Cortezes, though. I'm not gonna hold you. I fuck with the Cortezes.
Oh, you messed with him, huh? I think Tobias. I think he. Come on, yo, man. This
You
guy,
being for real, or
nah, I'm just
nah,
talking.
this comment right here? Oh, wrong one. Rose cuz.
Hey, that's the truth. Like Tobias
First
is
ballot
really
all bag getter. Yeah.
Tobias all about his bag Harris. That's a fact, man. This brother is making a lot of money right now.
He
A
is
ton
making
of
a
money.
lot of money
A
to
lot
get
of money, man.
that 10
A lot
seed,
of money.
bro. He will average 20 this year, though, for him. Watch. He'll get all
20?
the shots he
20?
wants out there.
I don't think he'll average 20, bro.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think that. Maybe
What did he average last year?
16. Maybe 16, maybe 16, 17. I don't see 20 though.
Let me see.
I could be wrong though. I could be wrong because
You
because the
sleeping?
Pistons.
You sleeping on Tobias?
I mean, well, actually, you know what? You're right.
I'm just
Tobias.
messing with you, though.
No, you're actually right. He can get buckets. in the regular season. You're right about that.
Regular season, bro.
Yeah, you're right about that. So he can definitely
No
average 20.
pressure. There's no
No pressure,
pressure.
no expectations.
And
Yeah,
Cade Cunningham will take a lot of attention, so he'll be able to help him get buckets. You got some nice floor spacers around him.
yeah,
Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway, like you mentioned earlier. Jalen Duren is maybe my favorite player from that squad. I
JD.
like Cade Cunningham too, but I
JD.
really love Jalen Duren for
Yeah,
sure.
same here, bro. I got a ton of Jalen Duren basketball cards, man. It's crazy.
There's everybody's going in on Tobias in the show.
Man, Tobias going to he
This
got
is
to tap
messed
in.
up
He
now.
got to tap into one of our episodes one day, bro. Hey, hey,
He has them making a play in, Marcia. It's
yeah,
possible. If you look
it's
at the
possible,
roster,
you know.
you look at the roster, they have like young,
Yeah, up in
explosive talent, but then a mixture of veterans too. Like you
yeah,
said,
they got some
it
vets
is
on the team.
interesting.
Yeah,
It is
they got some
interesting.
vets.
So you had Charlotte at number 9. So now we're getting to the big leagues. Basically, we're getting into the real playoff teams here. Let's go through the rest. We'll see who's kind of left out. If there's anybody we didn't touch on, well, I think the only teams we haven't touched on at the bottom are Washington and Brooklyn.
Yeah, just about. Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any thoughts on those two teams. Like Brooklyn's
Washington.
semi interesting. I mean, you got Ben Simmons
Yeah, I mean,
returning.
I say there's not really much to say about Ben Simmons at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
he got to show us, so that it's really no point of talking about him. So, and they in rebuild mode. I know one thing for sure: Cam Thomas is about to average like 40 points. He's about to shoot every shot he can, like every shot. He's finna shoot every shot. So
that is the truth.
that is my takeaway from Brooklyn. Cam Thomas finna average 40 points. Washington, I like what they did in the offseason. They drafted Sar. They brought in Valanciunas, Malcolm Brogdon. Still got Jordan Poole, Kuzma. Who else they got over there? Got Kalabali. Um, yeah, so
DJ.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sadiq Bey. Yeah, I don't think that team make a ton of noise. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I
I
feel
think
you.
I think I'm not gonna lie.
Keyshawn George,
I think a lot of
rookie.
contending teams probably start calling for Kuzma and Valanciunas though, because they can probably help some teams for sure.
Yeah, another sleeper. Because the only reason I bring this up is because I know a lot of Sixers fans have been talking about potentially making a move for this guy, but Corey Kispert.
Oh yeah, Corey. Yeah, Corey.
Before where he can space the floor, good shooter. Yeah, so he's another guy to look out for. That's what you can look at those teams for. You know, any of those guys like Cam Johnson. Is anybody going to go look and maybe try to bring him in? You know, actual contenders. But
yeah,
let's get
Dorian
to
Finney-Smith. Yeah, things like that. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Let's get to the top 8 here. I'll throw this one to you. I got this one might be surprising. I don't know. It depends where you're at, but I have the Cleveland Cavs coming in as the number 8 seed here, man.
Man, this is where things get tough, though. I'm not gonna lie. This is
It is. It is.
It really is. It really
It's
is.
8 through 4 that is really tough for me.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Man, for me, but before I say my team, do you have like any reason on why you got the Cavaliers so low, or?
I feel like as we go through, I can maybe explain it a little bit better.
Yeah, okay,
Like just by having the teams that I have ahead of them. The big thing for me, honestly, man, looking at their roster coming into this season, they're relying a lot on guys to simply get better, if that makes sense, right? Like they didn't make any big or you know notable additions to the roster. Evan Mobley, what can he be this season? And Darius Garland, those are the two X factors for that team, in my opinion. I think Max Strus, he's going to give you good stuff for, you know, his contract and his role in the team. Spida is Spida. We know what he can do. Even Jared Allen, I feel like what you're gonna get out of him. Damn, where did Slim go? He hit the Houdini shit. Like, golly. I ain't never seen nothing like that. But yeah, I'm just not super high on the how am I a hater, dog? Like, how am I a hater? Hating on who? Hating on the Cavs? Like, why am I hating on the Cavs? I'm curious, man. Nah, honestly, the Cavs it's more like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. It's clunky. It's not a great fit. Like, that's not an ideal fit in today's basketball, like the way basketball is played today. To have two guys that just simply don't space the floor on the court at the same time. I like Max Strus. I like Spida. Darius Garland is a fraud, in my opinion. That is part of the reason that the Cavs kind of fell lower than maybe other people have them falling this year. But I'm not sold on Darius Garland for real. It's just funny because Slim just keeps popping in and out. He said food at the door. It's funny because Chipotle just called me. I had an order on the way as well. I think Slim is hopping back in now. Let's see.
Yo.
We good?
Yo, can you hear me? Damn, he can't hear me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Technical difficulties. Anthony Edwards. Oh shit, Anthony Edwards in the chat. Can we get Slim back in here? East is weak. Anthony Edwards would average 40. Hey, I'm not going to dismiss that thought. Anthony Edwards is a dog. This is so weird. So Darius says he can hear us both.
Yo.
Yo, can you hear me now?
Yo. You can't hear me, bro.
Yeah, can you hear me now? What is going on? Let me try something. Let me try to go out and then come myself. We'll see if this works.
Bet. Let's see what the comments saying, man. Can I control it? Let's see what the comments saying, man. Oh, yeah. Yo, what's good, Darius? Yeah, it'd probably be Scottish stuff because I don't know what just happened. It just crashed me out the stream. So maybe we can get Scotty back in here. Maybe we can get Scotty back in here. Scotty Drown, talk to me.
It's so weird.
Damn, he can't hear me.
What is up with this?
I can hear him, but he can't hear me. Wow. StreamYard, bro. What's going on? Yes, sir, Darius. Good to hear from you too, man, as always. What seed do I realistically see the Warriors getting? To be honest, bro, I'm really hoping like for us to avoid the play-in tournament because I mean history has shown it that we haven't done too well in the play-in. So and another thing like Steph and Draymond, those guys are getting older, so we need like more clarification. You know that we're going to make the postseason than playing to get in it. You know, it's just more pressure on us. So yeah, hopefully we can be like a top six seed in the Western Conference. So I can see us being like a fifth to sixth seed, somewhere along the lines of that. But I don't want. Once again, I still don't want to get too ahead of myself because I know the Western Conference is loaded, man, from top to bottom. So we definitely got our work cut out for us for sure. But yeah, hopefully we can be like a top six seed though for sure. Facts, bro. We definitely like. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like our first 10 games, our schedule is very winnable, but we gotta like take the initiative to go ahead, set the tone early, and not like be BSing around and stuff. So, because we can start the season off like in our first 10 games, like 7-3 or like 8-2, I'd be satisfied with that for sure. So, yeah, if we can go on a run early, we'll be great, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please tell me you can hear me, please.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Yes,
All right,
let's
we
go.
good. We
Yes,
good.
yes, man.
Damn,
Damn.
that
You
was
know what?
frustrating. That was
I
frustrating.
know what it was, bro. I know exactly what it was. We kept talking about Tobias too much, and he had his PR team handle us. So no more Tobias, bro. We can't say that name anymore
He
for real.
shut us down.
Yeah, he shut us down for sure.
He shut us down, bro. But what I was saying basically before everything fell apart here, um, the reason I'm ultimately super low, I don't want to say super low on the Cavs, but lower on the Cavs than I feel the public is
Hey, thanks for the
because I am not a believer in Darius Garland. I worry that he suffers from fraud syndrome. And
you
that
know
really
about
worries
that.
me going forward for them, man. He's got some fraud in him. And that ultimately, that along with Evan Mobley in the clunky fit next to Jared Allen, seeing how that works out this year as well. But the main thing being they did not add enough over this offseason for me to think that, for example, the reason I wanted to wait until my next seed, but I had Martian calling me a hater in the comments. I have to give it away now. But the Orlando Magic is the team that I have right ahead of them. And I feel like the Orlando Magic went out and addressed something that they need by getting Casey him to the roster versus the Cavs, where, yeah, maybe they, drafted a few young guys, but they didn't go out and make their mark in free agency and get somebody that can help them win now. We'll see though. The Max Strus fit, the Donovan Mitchell fit. We got to still see how that can ultimately work out there in Cleveland. But I'm not super high on the Cavs this year, man.
Yeah, I mean I understand. Like basically, like this whole offseason, they basically just extended, their guys like D. Mitch, Mobley, Allen. All those guys got contract extensions. Now, don't get me wrong. Mobley, he can definitely take a leap this upcoming season
Yeah,
from an offensive standpoint. If they
yeah.
hand him the keys and tell him to go out there and get a bucket. And as far as Darius Garland, I definitely see where you're coming from. Like in the regular season, he can do his thing, but come postseason, he do tends to disappear when it matters the most. So I understand where you're coming from, and you do have to question like, do they just have enough? So yeah, I feel where you're coming from. And your next team you picked was the Magic, so you got them coming in at number 7.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one was one that I was a little torn. I could have them higher. I guess I could have them below the Cavs as well. But like I said, I do like the addition of KCP. I do like what could become of Franz Wagner and Paulo Banchero, obviously, their ascension. I think Franz, to be clear, could compete for an all-star place this year if all
Oh
things go
yeah, for
right for
sure.
Orlando.
Oh
So
yes.
if they can elevate their game, I do like what they could become this year. But to be clear, between those two teams, there's the reason I wrote this down. But the over under on FanDuel for their season, as far as wins, the Cavs are expected by FanDuel odds to have more wins than the Orlando Magic. They're sitting at over under 48.5. Orlando's sitting at 47.5. So expected,
Mm-hmm.
they're given an expected win of about one game by FanDuel there. So technically, they think Cleveland might finish higher.
Yeah.
Who do you got at 8-7?
For me, man, and this is it's not like no disrespect because this team, I mean, we all know what they're about. When it matters the most. But for me, man, I got to go with the Miami Heat. Um, I wasn't impressed a lot
That's
with what
fair.
they did this past offseason. They didn't do a ton. They still got Bam, Jimmy, Tyler Hero. If I'm not mistaken, Duncan Robinson, he's still on the team. Kevin Love,
Yeah, yeah,
the Ricky, Terry Rozier, Hammy Hawkins. So to me, they still didn't just address enough when you talk about competing with the likes of the Celtics, the Knicks and the Sixers now. So
yeah,
um, yeah, but like I said, we all know what they're about. If they can make it to the postseason, they're going to be an irritating team on both sides of
yeah,
the ball.
yeah,
So yeah, but I got the Miami Heat during the regular season, finishing it with the eighth seed. And seven, I'm not gonna lie, man, this was definitely challenging because you had to make it like make sense, for sure. But I have to agree with you with the Cavs, man. I had to put them at number seven as well, and for all the right reason that you listed. Like, it's a lot of what ifs than guarantees, if you know what I mean. Like
yeah,
that
yeah,
banking on like a lot of things to happen, opposed to different things. So
yeah.
yeah, I got the Cavs coming in at number seven myself.
No, I like how you phrase that because, for example, like putting Orlando ahead of them for me, I'm looking at Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner, who I look at as like they're definitely going to be better than what they were last year.
Right.
Where I'm looking at the Cavs and I'm like, Spida is going to be Spida. Like we know what Donovan Mitchell is going to bring to the team. He can perform at an MVP type of clip, like Darius is saying here in the comments. But who else is going to take that leap? It
Exactly.
could be Evan Mobley. It could
Could
be
be.
Darius Garland.
Really
It
could.
could be one of those guys that takes that leap. But I'm not as sure of that as I am as I am sure of Franz Wagner, for example, getting better and becoming a better player this year. I'm a little bit higher, I guess,
Yeah.
on Wagner. I I don't want to say higher on Wagner than Evan Mobley because Evan Mobley is a dynamic player. Like his skill set is very dynamic to where I don't know if you love him as your second star on a team, but you love him on your team. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want him as my second scoring option or the second leading scorer on my team. But when you talk about like all of his defensive instincts, his length, right, the way he can move around on the court, his fluidity on the court, you do love him having him on the team. I just don't like him as like the number two. Which the idea with Cleveland for me originally was that Garland would be the number two. So I don't know. They're a weird team. The Miami team that you have at number 8, I did have them at number 6. I do agree with everything you said. I don't think that they necessarily got like better this year or anything. I know they were in the play-in last season, but I guess what I'm factoring in is that maybe they just don't get as injured as they were last year. When you talk about Tyler Hero going out at some points, Jimmy Butler missed a huge part of the season last year. So across the board, they were dealing with a few injuries. You do get Terry Rozier for a full off season. Jaime Jaquez Jr. He was great last year as a rookie. What does he look like in his sophomore year?
Right.
Khalil Ware, Nikola Jovic. He's a guy that they're very high on. They've talked very highly on him for the last
I've
couple of
seen
years.
that he's been starting in the preseason. So
Yeah, yeah. So next to Bam, that's kind of interesting. Bam obviously is a guy that I don't think any of us have. I think he's a player that anybody can appreciate if you truly
yeah, for
love
sure.
hoops.
My
You can
dog, man.
appreciate Bam Adebayo's game. So
Yeah, my guy.
they're interesting, but if they deal with injury problems again, they could end up in the play-in again, down at the 8 seed again, like you said. So I'm not going to dispute that too
Yeah.
much. Who do you have at number 6?
So for me, so I got the Heat Cavs. So for me, man, coming in at number 6, and we had the discussion to start the show off. I think was it Darius that brought this team up, but it's the Milwaukee Bucks. And for
Okay.
me, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This team really doesn't impress me by any means because it's a lot going on. Like with the health of Chris Middleton, like we don't know if this
Yeah.
guy can go back and be that guy he was in the 2021 NBA Finals. Chris Middleton was one hell of a player during that whole
Yeah.
run, to be exact. But since then he's been kind of dealing with a lot of injuries, and even now I don't even think he's even started training camp. 100% healthy. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of things going on. Then on top of that, man, I'm going to be honest. Like from reading between the lines, it just doesn't look like Giannis is just happy there. Like during media day, I think they asked both him and Dame were they able to like get some runs in during the off season, and they really wasn't. Although it really doesn't play a huge factor, but to some degree it does. Like y'all got
Yeah.
to get on page because it's
Yeah.
you're getting older and it's championship or bust pretty much every year. I mean you're not getting any younger, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I love the pieces that they brought in, though. Gary Trent, DeLon Wright, Torian Prince. I like those additions. Those would be pretty good. Well, ultimately, I still don't think they have enough to compete with the three-headed snakes, at the top of the Eastern Conference. So for me, I
Yeah.
got Milwaukee coming in at number 6, and this is kind of similar to, well, not necessarily similar, but to some degree similar to the Cavs. Like we know what D Mitch is going to do, we know what Giannis is going to do, but
Yeah.
we know what Dame can bring to the table too. So.
Yeah.
Whereas to the Cavs, outside of D Mitch, who's going to be that, second guy on the team. So
Yeah.
yeah, but I just don't think that the Bucks have enough to compete. Although they still got Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis, but I don't
Yeah.
think that's enough. So
And I think, for me, and I'll just be clear here. I have Milwaukee at number 5, right ahead of Miami. I think I have them at number 5 out of respect for Giannis, right? Like that's really what it comes down to for me. Like I know Giannis is one of the best top 3 players in the world. Um, I know what he can do as long as he's healthy, where he can lead them, and that's to a top 5, 6 seed in the Eastern Conference, right? Dame Lillard, he is interesting, man. He is so interesting to me because there's something about him, and it's just maybe I have my hater cap on since he got to Milwaukee, and I just don't want them to be good. But I do wonder if like his lack of defensive prowess, right? Like when you get to the postseason, is he like is he good enough? Is he trying hard enough defensively that he's not going to be picked on or looked at as a mismatch on the defensive end of the basketball court? And that's what ultimately worries me for him. Just his lack of ability to defend, his streakiness. I'm interested to see if he can get back to kind of a more efficient clip this year. I know that he can get to 25 points per game, 30 points per game even. But can he
right.
do it more efficiently since he got to the Bucks? Can it be less like jacking up threes and more, productive type of gameplay, more efficient shooting
Yeah,
from Dame?
I
But
think Dame might have a bounce back season for sure. He was dealing with a lot, man.
yeah,
I
the
think he was dealing
move,
with
the divorce.
divorce. Yeah, he was dealing with a
Yeah,
lot, man.
it
So
was a lot. That's fair.
yeah.
That's fair.
And then
And
like I also understand like that trade happened like right before the season, like late
no time to
September.
mesh.
Yeah,
But
late September, something like that.
and the other thing, we didn't even mention this guy, but Doc Rivers, like
Oh yeah,
that's a
dog.
detractor for the Bucks as well. That's one of the biggest ones for me, just off
Yeah,
personal experience.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
they are an interesting team. Like Brooke Lopez, is he? When does he slow down? When does he start to look, washed?
yeah.
Bobby Portis is still solid. You mentioned it, DeLon Wright, Gary Trent Jr. is a good ad. Torian Prince, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It's just, is it enough? Is Chris Middleton going to be there when it matters? And it's a huge, huge question mark. But yeah, I got Milwaukee at number 5. I'll go ahead and give you my number 4 since we probably have the same like top 3. I have the Indiana Pacers at number 4. And I really love the idea of what they're presenting this season with Pascal Siakam coming back, second year, well, less than a second year, but second season or season and a half between Hallie and Siakam playing on the same team. So just them learning to play with each other a little bit better going into this season. They brought back pretty much everybody. They're going to get Mathurin back, who they did not have in the postseason.
Man.
Tyrese Halliburton was beat up in the postseason. They still competed at a really, really high level. I like the Pacers, and the main thing with the Pacers, man, is it's like, no pun intended, but the pace that they play with is intimidating. It is a game changer. They play fast. They score high. They score at a high clip, right? They shoot a lot of threes. It is a good style of basketball, in my opinion, to kind of separate yourself from the field. So they're like the team that is like right there below the big three for me in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. I agree with all those points. So I got to give you my fifth and fourth seed. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So for me, coming in number five, man, I got the Orlando Magic. I am very, very high on this team. They brought in a guy that has won 2 rings in the NBA, and Kentavious Caldwell Pope. He's exactly what they need, a 3-and-D guy who can
Yeah,
defend the opposing team, best player, and knock down shots at an elite level, as well as I'm definitely expecting Franz Wagner to have an all-star type of season, all NBA. And I don't think Paulo is going to slow down anytime soon from, getting better and better. So, yeah, I love the additions that they have. Jalen Suggs, he's still there. You
yeah.
got
He
Jonathan
should be better.
Isaac, Wendell Carter Jr. So they got some very nice pieces in, as well as they are a very big team, man. No
Yeah,
diss. They are a very
yeah.
big team, though. Like they can like go big. Like if they were to put Paulo at the one and just surround him by like tall, lifty guys, because he can make plays or whatnot. So yeah, for me, man, I'm excited for this Atlanta team. It should definitely be a fun team to tap into this season for sure.
And
So that's
Edwards says we're sleeping on
yeah.
Orlando, bro.
We probably are sleeping on them because
As a
this
top
team
three
definitely
team.
this team is they're definitely gonna have they're top three defense in the NBA for sure.
Defense, yeah. The thing for Orlando for me, man, I like the addition of KCP. I'm just looking through the rest of their roster and I'm looking for other floor spacing. I mean, you got Gary Harris, Caleb Houston. He's a young guy out there. They
Yeah, he
picked
can
up
shoot.
Tristan Da Silva, who's a nice long all around wing.
Still got Anthony
Um,
Black.
but like I guess Cole Anthony, he can shoot the rock a little bit. I don't know. I wish they had like one more wing like shooter. I don't know, just like
Yeah,
a floor spacer.
they tried to get Clay or Paul George. So
Clay would have been nasty. I won't lie to you. Or
yeah,
Paul George would have been nice as well. Obviously, I'm happy where he went, but
yeah,
um,
obviously you would be happy about that.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
they add something though. Like
yeah,
the
they
season's
definitely
just starting. They
they
can
got a
add
ton of
something on
depth
the
though.
trade deadline.
Yeah, they got a ton of depth. They can make a big move, man, for real.
I think they're missing like a kind of like a Max Struess, but like not that player. It's just the idea, like what he
Yeah, I do.
contributes.
Yeah,
That
to that
floor
caliber.
spacer can heat up from the 3-point line. KCP presents a little bit of that. I'm wondering who else can contribute, but I do like Orlando. I just don't know about them as a top three team. But hey, if Ant Edwards says they're top three, then I'll
Yeah.
take Ant Edwards'
Well,
word
for any
for it.
means, go for it.
He know more ball than me. That's for sure.
Yeah, but coming in at number four, man, I got the Indiana Pacers. I love what I've been seeing from these guys this whole offseason. Pascal Siakam, he's been doing his part as a leader on this team. He been getting guys together, doing runs and stuff, just building team chemistry. And yeah, like you said, for the right reason as well. Like Tyrese Halliburton, he's going to be healthy. My guy Benedict Mathurin, I feel like he's going to have a huge season. To me,
Yeah,
he can be that Malik Monk for them off the bench. A guy to come in and give you buckets when needed,
yeah.
and as well
He's a
as
heater.
yeah, and as well as my guy James Wiseman, man, he went to the Pacers. I'm rooting for him. Hopefully, he can have a good season with those guys. Whether he play with Tyrese or TJ McConnell, he's got some great point guards that can,
Yeah,
lob him up and, put him on a road to success. So, yeah, but for me, that's what I got coming in number four. This should definitely be a fun team. And yeah, they got Miles Turner as well. So Pascal, Tyrese, that's a pretty nice big three, if you ask me.
yeah. No, I agree. Um, just looking through the rest, he picked up Johnny Furphy from Kansas.
Who
Six
else they got
nine,
in the team? They still got
six
Ben
nine
Shepherd.
shooter. He
Yeah,
fits so much what the Pacers do, man. Johnny Furphy, that's funny. Um,
they got Ben Shepherd, Jarice Walker, Jarace, something like that.
yeah, Jarace
Is-
Walker,
Isaiah
Ben Shepherd,
Jackson.
Aaron Neesmith.
Yeah, they still got James Johnson over there, the vet.
Yeah, they
um,
got a squad. They got a squad. They're
we got
right
team
there
over
for
there,
me,
man.
man. I do agree with you. Let's get into the big three, man. We still got an all-star team to get to as well. We pushing an hour here, bruh. Um,
Yeah, no.
let's get the top three out there, and I'm gonna go ahead. This might surprise you because I won't lie to you. I came into the show with it Boston, Philadelphia, New York, but I am gonna switch it to Boston, New York, Philadelphia in that order. The reason for me that I'm doing it, obviously I'm a homer, I'm a Sixers fan. I have a special place in my heart for them. So I'm always, going to try to find a way to put them ahead, especially of New York.
Yeah,
That being said, my expectation for the Sixers this year is that Joel Embiid only plays enough games to stay healthy for the postseason. So ideally, he wouldn't be playing, 70 plus games this year if I were the Sixers
yeah,
owner, head coach, GM.
yeah.
So that being said, do I expect the Sixers to win more games than the Knicks if Joel Embiid misses, say, a third of the season? And I just don't know if that is that possible, given what the Knicks have going on. They do have players that don't struggle with injury history as much as the Sixers do. But both of these teams are deep. I will argue that the Sixers, for my money, are deeper than the New York Knicks. But just the fact that Embiid will miss probably a third of the season, if we're being realistic here, at least, I'm not able to put the Sixers ahead of the Knicks just yet here in the playoff seedings. Do I think they'll be a better team? I do. Just to be clear here, but yeah, I did have to make that switch, man. Boston Celtics are the Boston Celtics. They're going to be there as long as Tatum, Brown, main guys are healthy. They're going to compete. And I did see Martian's comment up here earlier about Drew Holiday. Where did that go? Yeah, Drew Holiday got a chip before Dame after
Yeah, that was
replaced him, right?
I always said, man,
So that was interesting as well.
I always said, man, that was a mistake, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they should have traded Chris
Yeah,
Middleton instead of Drew Holiday,
yeah,
bro. Because
yeah.
Drew,
If it was an option,
yeah, I think people got it fair to realize like Drew Holiday was a two before he was a one. Well, he probably was a one before he was a two, but Drew Holiday he's a versatile player. He can play a lot of positions in the NBA, so it's you know.
yeah, that's what I was saying earlier about Dane. Like being a defensive liability, you go from Drew Holiday, a lockdown defender, to a defensive liability. I just don't know exactly how that works out, but I'm not pandering, man. I'm being realistic. I'm trying. What I'm trying to be, Martian. He's so used to me on the Faithful Fanatic, where we are just biased completely to Philadelphia sports. Um, I'm trying to be realistic. Like Paul George is already dealing with a little bit of a knock. Maybe he only misses a game, 2 games, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever. Embiid is already talking about games that he's not going to be playing in back-to-backs,
Yeah,
different stuff like
I
that.
was finna bring that up to you, man. I seen
His
that.
main focus is to get to the postseason healthy, and that's my main focus too. So, like, the difference between the 2 and the 3 seed for me and what I would imagine what it means to the Sixers probably doesn't mean that much. But
Yeah.
the Knicks are a good team, though. I do want to be clear. I'm not like just throwing the Knicks up there because Embiid's it. Like the Knicks are a good team. They're a deep team. I'll let you get into that.
Yeah, they're a good team. But for me, coming in number three, man, I got the Sixers as well. I mean, we had this. I told you this like the last time we did episode. I had the Knicks over there right now. So, um, yeah, but like I seen Joel Embiid say that he don't plan on playing it to any more back to backs for the rest of his career. So,
Yeah,
maybe he just locked in on one goal, and that's to
yeah.
win the title. I mean, he don't have anything else to prove during the regular season.
You
But we
got to
know he.
think, man. Back to backs are dumb, anyways. Like, why do we have back to backs? Like, you don't get to the postseason and get to the Eastern Conference Finals and play back to back games. You know what I mean? So, like, what are you preparing for by playing back to backs? I don't know. Doesn't make sense, but
Honestly, not a ton of things, but yeah, man, I got the Sixers coming in number 3 though.
and so the Knicks at number 2,
Yes, yeah, I got the Knicks coming in number 2, but I will say this though, man, like
talk to
you
me.
know, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I feel like now the Knicks, I love what they done. They are a very talented team, but a lot of these quotation marks, quote unquote, analysts are getting a way too ahead of themselves by saying that. Prime example is Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins, even Bobby Marks. All these guys are saying that the Knicks are going to go to the finals easily. Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said,
Easy.
they are
Wow.
a great team. I love what they done. They literally built their team to beat Boston, like literally 1 through 5 to beat them. But I mean, you just can't count Boston out like that, bro. Like you gotta understand this. Like
Yeah.
Tatum and Brown are literally about to enter their primes. They still got
Yeah.
Porzingis. They still got two of the best defensive guards in the league, and Drew Holiday and Derek White. So it's not like talking about just to, write them off just that
Yeah.
quick anyway. So because
Yeah.
they're still going to be there for quite some
I think
time. So
like you can put the Celtics in their own category to be
oh
clear.
yeah, for
Like
sure,
I,
yeah,
we, I said big three, but in reality, the Celtics are in their own tier right now until further notice, right? Until proven otherwise. The Celtics are
facts.
the champions and they won like 60 plus games last year. Like
Yeah, last
they
season.
were better than the next team by quite a few games, quite a few wins last season. They're kind of in their own, like they're on their own level, if that makes sense. I think the Knicks and the Sixers are closer to each other than they are to Boston, if that
Yeah,
makes
that makes a
sense.
ton. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, I mean, you gotta always respect the defending champs. They won a chip for a reason, so you got to give them their props. So, I'm
Yeah.
not quick to write those guys off. The Knicks are a talented team. The Sixers are a talented team, but the Celtics is just a different team, man. Like,
This is so true when you have Drew Holiday and Derek White, and then Jalen Brown, and then Jason Tatum as your like
yeah, then you got to put Porzingis as your shot blocker. Like,
right, or Al Horford, right? If Porzingis is injured,
yeah, that's why I
yeah,
say, like with the Knicks. Don't get me wrong, they have two. OG Anunoby is elite defensive wing in the
yeah,
NBA. To me, McHale, he kind of took a step back, but that's because his role had to change when he was at Brooklyn. He had to be
on a
more
bad
offensive
team too.
orientated. Yeah, he
Yeah,
had to be more offensive orientated. So I'm sure he's going to get back to his ways of defending. Because when he was with Phoenix,
you're
we
gonna
all
have to.
knew that. Yeah, he's going to have to. When he's with Phoenix,
Kid's
he was
gonna
a
make
top
him.
wing defender for sure. Yeah, they call himself the wing stopper. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, if he can get back to that, I mean, like you said, they are built to stop the Celtics. You'd have him to guard Jalen Brown or Jason Tatum, and then vice versa for OG. Um, the Knicks are going to be solid. I'm interested. I'm interested to see like does Brunson like take a step back, like as far as like I don't mean it in like a bad way. I just mean it like does he take a step back as far as like scoring prowess? Because last year he was averaging like 30, 32 points a game, something like that. Um, does he take a step back to like 25, 26 points per game, to accommodate some of these new
Yeah, I was finna
additions
say,
to
I,
the
I
team?
think so. I think he's going to look to be more so of a playmaker, to get Cat involved and because to me, you're going to have to get production from both OG and McHale on offense. So I think
Yeah,
he's going to be more passive and then look to get his own, when it comes down to the wire, like close
when it's
games.
money time. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, things like that. So
I feel that. I feel that. I do.
yeah, one thing about
So
winning at the highest level, bro, is always about sacrifice. So
yeah, yeah, no, that's a great point. I think when you talk about egos, when you talk about pride, but then when you also talk about what your role is for the team as well, it takes sacrifice across the board. So I think that's a great point, man. Let's transition, man. Let's finish this out with our Eastern Conference All-Star team predictions. I think this is kind of just I was excited for this segment because it's just more fun. I feel like it's more like these are the players I like in the Eastern Conference, and I hope that they make the Eastern All Stars. But there's some narratives mixed in there as well. Um, should be fun though. But our rankings in the seeding they did vary a good bit, man, from like 4 down to 10. We were different in each spot, but roughly the same teams. Eastern Conference going to be interesting from about the 4 to 5 seed and below. I think will be really really interesting, barring major injuries. But Let's go. Let's go starters on the Eastern Conference All-Star team. Who would your starters be?
That's kind of easy for me. My starters would be I'm gonna go Brunson at the one. I'm gonna do Mitchell at the two. I'm gonna do Tatum at the three. Giannis at the four, and then I'm gonna do Embiid at the five.
Yeah, I,
Yeah.
I I like it. By the way, the Embiid thing is funny, man, because I thought about leaving him off of here as well.
No, he's
Not
gonna make them.
obviously because of his
Oh
skill, but
well, I understand because yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
yeah,
Like
I know
him
what you mean. Yeah,
playing,
yeah, I
him
get you.
playing this season, but maybe I'm overselling how much he's gonna play. I don't want to make it seem like he's gonna play less than half the games, but
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
um, is it still a voting system or is it what is it now? Like, is it fan
Um,
votes or is it
yeah, I know
NBA
that.
player
Yeah,
votes or
the
coach
fans
votes?
can vote, and then I think like the analysts they can vote on things like this as well. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So Martian says who replaces Embiid. So he's on the same
Bam,
page as me. Yeah,
bam,
Bam out of
bam.
bio. That's who I thought as well. My starters were Tyrese Halliburton. So instead of Brunson, shooting guard was interesting, and there is argument: is he a forward? Is he a guard? I went with Jalen Brown,
Ah,
man.
man.
I thought about like last year how he got snubbed across the board, and I thought maybe we can make up for that after he gets Finals MVP. um, I don't know. I went with Hallie, Jalen Brown at the two guard, Jason Tatum at the three, Giannis at the four, and Embiid at the five for my starters. So very similar. I think we have three out of the same
Yeah,
five.
yeah, same
So
five. Yeah, that's
two
that's kind
different
of
guards.
obvious,
The
you know.
guards are the difference in the East, though. Like, there's so many guards in the East,
Yeah, it is because
that are pretty
it's
good.
like man, you had this conversation like Jalen Brown is a tweener, so you really can't go wrong if you
Yeah,
put him at the two or the three. He play both, so he even play small ball four if needed. So
yeah, that's facts. So he said fan vote and player vote. Yeah, they segment it somehow, like where a
hey,
certain
that's a fact.
portion goes
That's a
for
fact, my son.
fans.
Jalen Brown's sneaker game in the All Star game is nice. It really is.
He's gonna show out. He will show out if he does end up making it, man. But hopefully he doesn't get blackballed. The other thing that he got blackballed about was the USA team not making the USA team. That
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
super weird. I
Yeah.
think this is like a retribution type of year for Jalen
Oh yeah,
Brown.
he's both him and Tatum motivated because Tatum didn't really play, so it's going to be a
Yeah,
motivated
he
season
didn't
for
play
him.
that much on the USA team either. Let's go. Let's go the bench though. How many? I did a total of 12
Yeah,
players.
I
How
think
many?
I was finna say
12.
I think it's 12. Yeah, it's
All right,
12.
so I got seven more players written down here. Do you want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You can start it up, man. Wait, hold on. So okay, so five. Okay, so a seven more. Okay, seven more. Yeah.
Yeah, so I got seven more. Um, I tried to differentiate guards for us, but I didn't put too much thought into that.
Yeah.
So first guys I got here, I got Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Maxey, guys that made it last year, obviously. Bam Adebayo, we already basically stapled him in. Paolo Banchero, he's going to be the face of Orlando. They're going to be a playoff team.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell, so I'm with you there. You have him as a starter, but I have him making the team at least. These last two is where it gets really, really tough for me, man. But I ended up going with Franz Wagner as one of my
Hey,
final spots
I
on the
ain't
All
mad
Star
at this.
team representing Orlando. So maybe I should be higher on Orlando seating wise.
Yeah, I ain't mad at it.
Um, the other guy I went with was Scotty Barnes from Toronto. So I think he's going to have a big year. He was a replacement last year. Can he elevate to, make an actual team? Quite a few guys looking back, I left off, but I guess it's going to be that way regardless. Who do you got before I would get into some other guys
Yeah,
I was
it's
thinking
it's
about?
it's going to be that way. Some like everybody not going to be able to make it. So, but so I have to name how many more? Five more or seven more?
Seven should be
Okay,
seven
so
more.
Yeah, so basically, same Hallie, Maxi, Bam, Brown, Paulo. That's the five, and the two guys here. I'm gonna go with Cat, man. I think
Okay, that's
Cat
different.
going to have Cat going to have an All Star type of season. He's motivated for sure. I can tell you
Yeah,
that from what I've been seeing. Definitely motivated. Because that trade kind of caught him off guard. Because I'm not gonna lie, it definitely caught me off guard for sure.
yeah,
But
same
yeah.
for sure.
So I got to go with Cat there, and then lastly, like you said, man, somebody's gonna get left off. And I hate to disrespect a guy like Jimmy Butler, but I gotta go with Franz Wagner, bro. Like I got to. I think that this is
That's
the
so
year.
funny, man, because it was between those two for me as well, bro. I was on the fence with Jimmy, but I decided he's just not going to play enough games, maybe like
Yeah,
versus Wagner. I don't know.
yeah, that's fair. But then, like you look at the names that we didn't even name, guys like Damian Lillard, Trey
And
Young. Like
Siakam,
I didn't name Scotty Barnes, Siakam, Lamelo Ball, like
yeah, Lamelo, I had written down here as well.
Kristaps Porzingis, Paul George.
Drew Holiday,
Yeah, Drew Holiday can make his case.
like you could argue all of the
Tobias Harris,
starting
Kate
lineup
Cunningham.
too. You could have said Cade first, at least, dog.
Damn, I just jinxed myself again, bro. Damn, I don't even know why I said his name, bro. He might cut us off again. Fuck.
Right, you about to pop out the screen, dog. You can't be putting shade on Tobias Harris' name on here,
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah, but the point is, like, it's a lot of guys that didn't make the team. So I'm interested. Why you don't have Paul George making the All Star game?
Man, that's a funny question,
No,
actually.
that's
That's a
not. That's a
funny
great question.
that's
What's
a
going on
funny
with that, man?
question. I think partly, honestly, I did not even think about him. And it's not because I don't think he can't make the All-Star team in the East. I think I was just still had him in my mind in the West. You know what I mean? Like part of that group
Oh,
out
okay,
there.
okay. Well, that's
But
fair. That's fair.
I wouldn't have picked him over some of these other guys anyways, I'll say. Just because they are younger, I think they'll play more. But if it's fan voting, I mean Paul George definitely could make it. I guess I was going just more by like production, amount of games play, what it's going to look like when they play versus like popularity and stuff like that. So popularity, that type of thing. But I just think, I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm not saying that Franz is better than Paul George per se. Maybe he is. I don't know at this point.
Yeah, I
Um,
get where you're coming from with this. Yeah.
he's just gonna play harder in the regular season, right?
Yeah.
Like Paul George doesn't need to establish himself as an all-star anymore. Like
Yeah,
he doesn't,
like
it's not working for that.
yeah, like with Paul, like you said, like he has been on the West Coast for quite some time. The Thunder, the Clippers, he's been over there for a while, but now he's back in the Eastern Conference. You know, he played with the Pacers
Yeah,
now. He with you guys, but Paul George like a 9-time All Star though, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it would be nice for him to reach that 10 mark because that's
That's
elite
true.
that's
That's
elite
true.
company right there. Like make the All Star game 10 times in your career.
That's
So
true. This was kind of the thought for me as well, as if he, just misses too many games. But that is true.
yeah,
If he's going for his tenth
yeah,
All
because
Star,
I
he
do expect
definitely
you
wants
guys to
that.
load manage him as well. I don't think he has to play in a ton of games. I mean, I got a lot of depth at that wing position anyway. So
Because I'm just thinking, like, who could potentially Embiid is really the only one that I could like predict would be, sitting out of the game and not playing, and you would have to replace him. That's the only one. So I don't know. I guess if we have some replacements, maybe they can slide in. That's usually how it goes every year. But I think I like our list. So I think we got the gist of it. The main thing here, I think, is those top 10 guys for me: Embiid, Giannis, Tatum, Brown, Halliburton, Maxi Brunson, Bam, Paulo, Spida. Um, that's like my for sure top 10 that I think are going to make the All Star team, and then could probably leave those other two spots as kind of like wild card spots. But it's interesting, man. The West is going to be, no pun intended, wild. It's just there's a lot of talent over there, bro.
There's literally an all-star team of guys that don't make the all-star team.
That's a great way to put it, bro.
Literally, bro.
Oh my God. I don't even know how we're going to be able to order those Western Conference teams. I'm going to have to like really dial in for that. But that will be the next episode. Nonetheless, we'll be coming back at you guys with Western Conference rankings. Do you have anything else before we get out of here, my man?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Marshawn, Darius. You guys been here since day one, man. Y'all are some real ones. Salute. Y'all been showing a lot of love since we started this, and yeah, man, we glad to have you guys back. As
Appreciate
well as
y'all.
is it Hunter? He's been here a while as well. So
Yeah,
yeah, shout
Hunter.
out to all you guys that constantly, come through and show love. So yeah, we appreciate y'all for that.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards drop in today. Who else did we have in here? We had a Heat fan as well. Either way, regardless, man, we appreciate all of you guys tuning in. We appreciate all of the comments. If you didn't comment on this episode, get back right with us on the next episode when we do Western Conference. Bring your own list, bring your own all-star lists to the show, and we can
Yeah,
definitely
Marshawn is
break
wide
them
right now.
down.
Yeah, that man is wild, bro.
Always, bro. If you come in the Faithful Fanatic chat on Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, Martian is in there going hizzy, but that is definitely my guy, man. All of you guys out there that watch, support us, we appreciate it all. So definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn the
Yes,
notifications.
sir, man. Tap in.
Yes, sir. Let's get out of here, Slim. We got some basketball to go in, Jess. The Sixers are playing right now. Last I checked, let me just check again here before we get out of here.
No, this guy.
We got a little lead going here. Kelly Oubre with a quick 10. Yeah, let me go check this out, man. I'll catch you guys next week. Maybe we link up later this week. It's possible. Turn the notifications on so you're notified when we are about to go live.
Yeah, turn notifications on, man. You never know,
Keep you
man.
covered. But thank you guys for tuning in. You can
The
find my
NBA
man
is back.
Jeremy RTR30111 on X. You can find myself at Scotty Drown. You can find the pod on X at To The Galaxy Podcast. Excuse me, at To The Galaxy Pod, not cats at the end. No cats at the end. Just pod. All right. Be sure to tap in. Follow us on X. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Peace, everybody. We will see you next time. It's a pleasure.